Hello Stitchy friends, welcome to the Starlight Stitching Co. Flosstube video number 41. Today is October 24th and I have a lot of fun stuff to share with you. So once again, I'm starting off the video by apologizing for taking a month-long break in between videos. There's just a lot going on. I had planned on filming last week on Wednesday, but as some of you might have seen on Instagram, on Tuesday we had to have our dog, Buddy, that we had for 13 years, put down. He was old and was hurting, excuse me, and we just didn't want to see him suffering anymore. So basically the rest of the week I was kind of bummed out and just didn't feel like filming a video. And yeah, I've been busy working on some things and I am excited to share those with you. I have one FFO, an almost FFO, several stitch finishes. Pardon me, seasonal allergies are hitting me hard right now. But first I would like to start off and share some previous finishes, some autumn and Halloween previous finishes with you, mostly autumn. So the first up I have here is Welcome Autumn. This chart is by Primrose Cottage Stitches. I stitched it on, looks like a 14 count, possibly a 16 count. I finished it into a pillow by sewing some fabric on. I stitched a small leaf and made a covered button that I attached to this bow that needs fluffing. And I finished this, I don't know, 3 years ago now. And what's funny about it is I didn't ever actually sew up the back. The back is just held with some clothespins. So I need to get that sewn up so it can be officially finished and put out on display. So we'll just pop this here. I also, let's see, how can I do this? There we go. We have Autumn Love by Lori Holt. I will add a better picture of that in here. And we also have Autumn Rules by Primrose Cottage Stitches. I'll put in a better picture of that here as well. I stitched that on a 14 count fabric and I attached it onto some scraps of autumnal quilt fabric that I sewed together into a bell pull shape. And I also stitched a covered button and added it to the bow and put a little acorn bell on the bottom, and I really love it. Next is Harvest Wishes and Pumpkin Kisses. This is also by Primrose Cottage. I believe I just used the same colors. I don't know if it was the called for colors or if I switched them up. There's a bit of lint on it. Another covered button. I think I finished all three of these around the same time because the covered button was a thing. And I attached it onto this little pumpkin display piece that I think I picked up at one of the pharmacies here in town, one of the drugstores in their seasonal aisle. The Care Pharmacy? I don't know. So we have that. This is another lovely chart by Primrose Cottage Stitches, Autumn Alphabet. This is stitched on a linen. I couldn't tell you now what it was, but if you look back in my Instagram or past Flosstube videos, you'll be able to find that information. Very pretty. and I finished it into this little hanging frame that I picked up in the Walmart tabletop decor. I think there's a little sign here that hangs down, and I think it said blessed or something, and it didn't have all of this on the top. I added that. It was just the wood frame. So I stained the wood frame and then mounted the cross stitch onto a foam board and just hot glued it directly onto that little hanging sign and added some fluffery to the top. And I think it's super cute. Okay, next up, this is a chart called Candy Corn and Pumpkin by Stitches with Ethel, Stitches by Ethel. Ethel does some pretty stitches. I just can't remember her exact name. And she has a whole series of these crow with the mouse with different things. This is the only one that I have stitched so far. And this pumpkin piece is from Scarlet Sky Designs TX. And I painted it and stained it and layered it up on some foam board with a bow and a button. And it's my favorite fall decor piece ever. So we'll just set that right there for now. Okay, now I'm going to share some of my own autumn charts that I have so far. So this is Autumn Leaves, and it is stitched on a 14 count fabric flare aided that looks like it has the pine board. So we've got our scripty autumn pumpkin with a quilt block on it and some leaves, colorful leaves blowing in the wind, all stitched with DMC, and then just finished with magnets onto this barn board from Chantel's 141 Design Company. And if some of these charts and finishing things are still available, I will try to link them in the description below. So this is more of a, I would normally have this out like August, September. It was stuck in my fall bin for some reason. But this is Share Your Sunshine. And it has these lovely sunflowers. I want to get close so you can see the pattern on those sunflower centers and petals. And sweet little honeybees and their trails behind them. And then the Share Your Sunshine. So I love this, and I finished this onto a, it's supposed to go this way, a palette wood sign from Walmart. Use what you got available, right? I don't have a Hobby Lobby really close by. I mean, I could drive to one, it's a half an hour away, but if I can find something at Walmart or close by or in my stash, I'm going to use that instead. So this is my October birdhouse pattern. So we have this spooky little birdhouse. We've got our jack-o'-lantern on the post with our little spider friend hanging down. There's something brewing in the cauldron here in this little wonky house with the birds flying around and a little iron gate at the bottom. These little birdhouses are just so much fun to stitch, and I had a lot of fun designing this series. So this is the October one. Okay, so that does it for previous finishes. Next up, I have a new finish. It is not Christmas time yet, but I finished my Snow Magical by Brenda Gervais. This was a stitch along hosted by Nicole Spohr back in January, and I had been stuck at filling in the snow and filling in the sweater forever. But between swim lessons and piano lessons for my daughter, I was able to get this filled in, and then I took the time to fully finish it onto the round. I used the rickrack that came with the kit. It was a pretty small rickrack, so in some spots it's a little bit harder to see than others. Then I just wrapped the base with some silver metallic and natural twine from Stampin' Up! Eons ago, and then just a sweet little snowflake charm hanging from the bow. So now my little shelf sitter is ready to go for the Christmas season. The Snow Globe finishing board is from Chantel's 141 Design Company and was part of the Stitch Along. I have an almost another FFO. So I shared that I had finished the Autumn Quaker by Primrose Cottage Stitches last video, and yesterday I was able to get it sewn up into a pillow. So I just added some interfacing onto the back of the stitching to protect my stitching, and I used 2 pieces of fabric, so I need to sew this one up just like the other pillow. And then I have some Lady Dot Creates Pom Pom trim. I have no idea what color it is, but I'm going to be sewing that around the edges. So hopefully by next video, I will have a complete FFO for that one. Right now it's just hanging out in this little project bag. Now I have several stitch finishes. This is another piece that was just waiting in purgatory, in fill-in purgatory. American Sampler House by Annie B's Folk Art. I already put the chart away, so I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's the name. But that house is ginormous, and it took forever to fill in. I stitched this on a, I think it's a 36 count Pusher's Corline linen from Lapin Loops, and it is beautiful. I don't know if I'll finish this onto a board as a flat finish or if I'll turn it into a pillow. I have to look through my stash of finishing boards to see what I have available. Now, next up, there was a time I was just incredibly overwhelmed and I needed easy stitching. Stuff that didn't require a lot of color changes, a lot of focus, a whole ton of counting like across linen. I just wanted something easy. And this has been a long time whip. Well Hello There by Hands On Design. It is a pattern that includes a chart for every month out of the year. And I had several of them done, but not all of them. I did get the button pack from Fat Quarter Shop, and I did not use the called for colors. I just went through my bucket of fancy floss and picked out what spoke to me to work with the buttons. So here is Hello April. Hello May. Hello June. Hello September. Hello October. Hello November. And hello December. So all of these I stitched on a, I think it's an 18 count. It might be a 16 count. It's got to be 16. I used 2 threads. I mean, I used 2 threads on 18 too. But 16 or 18 count Fiddler's Cloth Aida. It was a nice neutral background. On some of the others, I had used different colored cloths and changed the colors to fit the month. But again, I wanted easy stitching. And this was a great neutral that the colors really pop on. So I just stitched all the rest of them on that and picked out the colors that I want. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 7 finishes. Because yes, I am counting each and every single one of these as a finish, even though it's just one pattern. Because I'm silly like that and I can make my own rules. So these are now ready to be ironed a little bit better, clearly, and finished onto a board that I hang on the wood paddle that is in this section of my shelf from Paisleys and Polka Dots. So exciting. I had started off just wanting to get October, November, and December done, so I could at least have them up for the rest of the year. But they were so simple and easy and fun to stitch that I just kept going, because I could start it one day and finish it the next, and that was a lot of fun. All right, so my next cross stitch whip has the most pitiful start. Oh my goodness. It is Harvest Moon by Annie B's Folk Art. It's an absolutely gorgeous chart. Absolutely gorgeous. I started in the center, and I don't even know why I'm showing you this. You're not even going to be able to see it. I have just the tiniest bit of white stitching It's this little zigzag border that goes in the middle of the house, because I like to start in the middle. So that is all that I have. It doesn't even really count as a start. I don't know. I think I started this and then I was just overwhelmed, and that's when I needed the easy stitching, something for a bit of a break. Moving on. Where did my cover sheet go for this one? I had it out. I promise I did. So I only did one more day's worth of stitching on Love and Learning by Emily Call Stitching. And here is my progress. I don't think I'm going to do the flower border on the bottom, just because I don't think the pattern needs it. Sorry for the hanging thread. That's where I stopped, so that's what you get. So I basically just have the house to finish, some flowers on the bottom, and filling in that grass. And then this one will be done. So it's been several weeks since I've worked on it, but I do want to pick it up and get it finished because I can see the finish line. And that makes me excited to get it done. See if I can stick this back in here. I should have flipped to my top view, but I didn't. Let me get this thread out of the way. Next is a new start since the last video, and it is Autumn Folk by Hands On Design. I'm sure you've been seeing this everywhere. I have loved this series, and I purchased the board from Chantel's 141 Design Company back in the spring when I got the Spring Folk paddle, or Spring Folk pattern. But I hadn't gotten around to starting to stitch any of them. But here is my Autumn Folk. I did share this one with you last time. I think I just had a smaller start, because I remember talking about, or maybe I was going to start it. But here's my progress. I should have done the top view camera. But as you can see, comparing the pattern, I have everything up to the G and below done. So I just have the border and the A through F and the top. And then this will be ready for a finish. I am super excited because I want to get this finished and be ready to do the Winter Folk. So handmade by Sarah W. and Sarah's Stitchery, Stitchy Sarah Reads on Instagram. They are hosting a Winter Folk stitch along, and I want to stitch along with them. So I have some of the specialty stitches done already. I've done this row and then this herringbone. And those specialty stitches, they take a little bit of time, but they add such a lovely texture. I never did find my pearl cotton. I ended up having to order another one. It'll turn up when I least expect it. Okay, that's all that I have for stitching finishes. So why don't I go ahead and do haul and stitching plans, and then I'll talk about some quilting and then yarn crafts, because I have several of those to talk about. That way, if there's somebody here that is not interested in those things, they can hop along somewhere else. When I ordered the second ball of the pearl cotton for Autumn Folk, this was in my cart at 123 Stitch, Spring Quaker, and all the called for threads. So I didn't want that one little ball of pearl cotton to ship all on its own. So I went ahead and ordered the Spring Quaker. I won't be starting this one anytime soon. I'll probably save this for a spring start next year, but it is nice to have the kit already here. Jingle Ball signups were last weekend, so I was able to get on and get signed up for the Jingle Ball, and I picked 3 different classes. Mostly just the PDF classes, because if I got all of the kitted classes I wanted to, it would have been well over $300, and that was not happening. We do not have that kind of budget around here, folks. So I picked 3 PDF classes, although one of them is the partial kit. So the first class I picked is this Tiny Modernist gingerbread house, because it is adorable. I just need like a little gingerbread village like this to go on my mantle. So cute. I signed up for the Midwinter Morn Wall Tart. This is the one that I got the partial kit of, so I could get the finishing supplies. It's so soft and pretty. I don't know if I'll change up the colors or not. I haven't decided yet. And then I don't have the chart cover. Maybe I'll try to find a picture to add in. But I signed up for the Hello from Liz Matthews Star Pillow chart. I really wanted to see how she did that finish. And the beaded trim I'm not afraid of, but I wanted to see how she did it. I wanted to get the kit for that, but after looking at it and thinking about it, I realized, I probably have stuff on hand that I can easily swap out for those. So that does it for my haul. Well, I did receive the Chantel's 141 ornament box, but she hasn't shared that yet, so I'm not going to share it yet either. Let's go ahead and do the giveaway from last week. So I was giving away the Summer Folk and Autumn Folk charts because somehow I had managed to order them twice. I need to quit doing that. It's a problem. Yeah. So both of these charts will be going to one winner. And that winner is Sarah Gracie R. So if that is your YouTube name, please send me an email at the email address in the description box below and let me know your shipping address so I can get that mailed out to you. And maybe you can have some fun stitching some Autumn Folk and Summer Folk with me. For cross-stitching plans, this is a chart I purchased, I think last year. I'm going to go ahead and take it out of the plastic so you don't have the glare. And it is called Sweater Weather by Plum Street Samplers. And I want to stitch this in memory of our 2 little dachshunds that we have lost in the last year and a half. So there's a darker dachshund and then more of a brown dachshund, and that perfectly represents our Buddy and Sassy that we have lost. And I want to do this in memory of them. There is a whole series of these charts, but honestly the sweater weather one is my favorite. You know what? I think I mentioned this in my last video, because I've had it pulled out for a little while. But either way, I don't know if I'll start it right away. I kind of have a lot of whips going on, and I don't really want to add a whole bunch to that. But it's there, and it'll be a nice piece to have in memory of them. Okay, so next up, does anybody remember the Grumpy Susan Sal with Antique Needleworkers and Tiger Lily Designs? So I still have yet to get one full flower done. Here's my mock-up of what mine is going to look like. And this is the very first purple flower that I am working on. So it sat and sat and sat for months with absolutely no work on it. And then I was cleaning stuff up downstairs and recently brought this up. And this has been a great thing to sew on while I'm doing homeschool with my daughter. So there's lots of moments where I'm just sitting there, you know, giving her time to work on her math problems. And then we'll look them over together and I'll help her figure out what went wrong if there's one of them that's wrong. Or waiting for her to finish writing whatever the assignment is. And that is something that is really easy to pick up and just sew like one little section really quick, or part of one section. And in the last couple of days, I've been able to add all of these on there because I haven't even torn off the papers on the back yet. So in this last week, and it's only Thursday, I've added 6 blocks, and that is far more love than it has received in the last many, many months. All of my blocks are going to have the same blue and yellow flower center, and then I just have a variety of purples and pinks and dark blues. And then the low volume ring. And then outside of this ring, I have this like turquoisey, almost looks like agate or ocean waves or something, but that is going to be my path, is the turquoisey. Very nice to get some progress on that. And I need to find a better bin. If anybody has any storage suggestions for the finished blocks, let me know. So I don't really want to hang them up because then I have to worry about whether the sun is fading it or not, because this is going to be a several year project. In months, I haven't even finished one block yet. And right now I just have everything in one of these shoebox containers. It works great for holding all the supplies together, but I need something that I can put the finished flower blocks in, preferably where they could lay flat. But I also, it's too big to fit in one of the 12 by 12 scrapbook bins that I normally use for quilts. So maybe I can find something similar to like an artist's portfolio, or I don't know. If you have any suggestions, please let me know. All right, now we're going to get into some of the yarn crafts. So first up, I am working on another Musselburgh hat. This one is a Christmas gift, or will be a Christmas gift, so I guess I need to get cracking on it. And the last time I showed you, I was still on the increases. I hadn't got past the increases. Now I'm just into the stockinette, round and round and round you go. And this one I need to pay a little closer attention to the length because I'm trying to make it a beanie length without the fold over brim. And I'm using leftovers from the hats that I made last year. It's Malabrigo. Do I have a tag in here still? No, I'm not seeing a tag. It's a Malabrigo yarn, and I believe it's a DK weight. I think it is. But this one is in the color Cirrus, and this is the color Escoria. So it's Malabrigo Arroyo yarn, and Escoria and Cirrus. So the part I'm working on right now is in the Escoria color, grays and browns. And the other half I will do in the Cirrus color, which is more of a blue. So not super noticeable, but it'll still be reversible. And hey, I'm using up my leftover yarn. Don't want to let that hand-dyed yarn go to waste. Next up, I have made some progress on my Granny Crop cardigan. So this is a kit from Mary Maxim, and the pattern is by MJ's Off the Hook Designs. She has so many beautiful crochet patterns. So many beautiful crochet patterns for wearable clothing. And I have made lots more, and there they go, granny squares. They all still need their ends woven in though. So we are making progress there. I don't know how many more I have left. Let's see. I'm making 4 of each combo. I did that one, and I did that one. And that one. So I don't want to give it away, but I think I have 6 more color combos left. Yeah, because that's part of the previous set. And those. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, I only have 6 more different color combinations to do. And then I will be ready to start, well, for one, weaving in all the ends. My goodness. That's probably the one downside about that project. So many ends to weave in. Okay, then lastly, I have my Laurel shawl that I'm knitting on. This is being knit in some Bumblebee Acres yarn in a color called Dragonfly and Amber, and it has a little bit of a silver sparkle to it. And you're going to look at this and you're going to see, well, it doesn't look like you've made very much progress since last time. That is because I had almost 2 whole rows of this lace stitch done. But I lost track of which row I was on, And that's the problem with picking it up for, you know, 15 minutes and then putting it down, and then picking it up for 15 minutes and putting it down. So at least while I'm on the lace part, I need to work on this regularly, like every day, and not take a break for a week in between, because I lose track of where I'm at and what I'm doing and how to do the lace stitch. And I have learned how to read it from the chart instead of, I was just blindly following the instructions and hoping I was getting it right, and well, I got it wrong. So now I know how to read the stitches better. I had to rip out both of those rows of the lace stitch and picked it back up down here right above this, what do they call this? The bead stitch. And this lace stitch here is what, that you can see, is what I have done since then. And I have this blue marker here because I made a mistake and I tried to, you know, just drop a stitch to fix it. If I didn't have it marked, I don't think it's super noticeable. So I don't know if I'm going to try to continue to fix it better, or if I'm just going to leave it as is and just try to be better on the rest. I had missed one of the stitches for the bead stitch when I had picked them back up, and that was the problem I was trying to correct. But either way, here is my current progress. It is very pretty. I am very excited to have it and be able to wear it. It has lovely autumnal colors. It's definitely got an autumn vibe going. And I had hoped to be able to wear it this autumn, but I don't know. I have 2 more lace repeats to do. And then there's a couple more rows of bead stitch and seed stitch, and then some more lace, and then however you bind it off. So that's quite a bit of work, but I don't know. I'm going to try to keep working on it and do at least 1 row every day. And maybe that will help me get some more progress on this, because it is stunning. This is a case of lace work. Might have been a little bit out of my capabilities when I started it. Bit of an ambitious project. But in having to rip it back and try to fix these problems, I have learned a lot about how to fix your knitting problems. So, everything's a learning experience. All right, I think that is everything that I have to share with you today. It went by a little bit faster than I expected. I did not have a shop update on October 15th. I'm trying to get caught up on orders, but I expect to be caught up with those within the next week. And then I will have some new releases on November 1st. I'm really looking forward to those. They'll be pretty, and I hope you'll like them. And then we're going to be getting into the Christmas season. I have a new cross stitch design that I want to get charted and stitched up and hopefully released for the Christmas season. I don't know if it's going to be possible. That might be a bit of a stretch, but I want to try. So we shall see. Yeah, I think that's everything that I have. So thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to stop and come chat with me and see what craftiness I've been up to lately. I hope you have a fabulous day, and I will try to keep it to 2 weeks this time instead of a month. It definitely makes it easier for doing the videos. A month is just too long. I forget what I worked on. But anyway, have a fabulous couple of weeks. I hope you have a safe and happy Halloween and that you enjoy this beautiful autumn. So thank you so much for joining me. Bye-bye.